Hey, Delight here. We are back and I'm so excited to see you again. So today I want to share important lessons from Rich Dad, Poor Dad from Robert Kiyosaki. So I just want to share 4 lessons that are very important that we can start looking at. And if you're new to my channel, you are welcome. Please like, subscribe, and also share this so that it can help other people as we go through this journey of improving our consciousness. Now, I also want to link this with our previous lessons. Remember, we spoke about the conscious mind and the subconscious mind and how they serve us. Because remember, one of the important subjects that we spoke or we looked deep into it was our beliefs. Because what you believe becomes real. We become what we think about. Very important to understand the subject of belief. So, in this book, Robert talks about the beliefs that he learned from Poor Dad and Rich Dad. So, in simple terms, Rich Dad was his friend's father, and the Poor Dad he was referring to his real father. So his father was an academic, so he was a teacher. So mostly he encouraged him go to school, get good grades, get a job. But his rich dad with a different mindset. So he learned from an early age from the two dads that there's a difference, but the difference is mainly in the mindsets. So the first lesson that I want to share with you is about the beliefs. It's very important. What we believe, we become. It's a rule of life. Even if you don't understand or even if you ignore it. So let's look at the difference between the mindset or the beliefs of the rich and the poor, because he says that from the poor, if you grow up in a poor family, then you are going to adapt those beliefs and you're going to adapt them unconsciously from an early age. So you start learning those beliefs from an early age. And one of the reasons or one of the lessons, money is the root of all evil. From the poor mindset, money is only for a certain people. It's limited. Not everyone is going to be rich. Not everyone is born to be rich. That's the mindset. So you start developing that mindset from an early age. And because you believe those things are going to become real. Because, for example, if you are still young, still active, energetic, and you go to your parent or your guardian or whoever is around you and you say, I want this. And they say, but how are you going to get that? Because we can't afford that. And from that age, you start learning that if I can't afford something, I'm mostly not going to get it. And you give up on it because you don't even know how to go through the steps to get it. And that is the mindset that kills a lot of people, because everyone has goals. Everyone has goals. But the problem is that people give up on the goals that they don't know how to achieve, because you are taught that if you don't know how to achieve that goal, then you should give up on it. Okay, and you see the mindset there, which is wrong, because I'm a qualified 10. So if I give you a block of steel, like it's still not like this, one that is still solid and is not cut and stuff like that, and I say you have to manufacture something like this with the correct sizes, even if I explain the whole process to you, how to set up the tools, how to switch on the machine, where to start, you're not going to get it right the first time. You're definitely not going to get it right the first time. You're going to make mistakes, break tools. You're going to mess up a lot of things because you don't know how, but you have to start somewhere. So you have to start by understanding the basics. But the moment you want to focus on getting this thing right immediately, then you're almost going to give up when you start machining and things don't go your way and you start breaking tools. So you're going to give up. And that's the mindset that we have. If you don't know how to do it, then we give up. But no, that's not the mentality. We have to learn from people that have achieved the thing that we want and take the steps or the guidance that they give us at the level that you are. So don't focus on things that are at a higher level. Focus on the basics, because it is a step-by-step process. So what is it that you want? Have you given up on your goals? Have you given up on that financial dream that you always had? Don't give up on it. Find the right people who have achieved that thing and take the right or the little steps that they give you, the guidance that they give you. Do your research. There's tons of information. Never say that I can't achieve that thing, I can't do it. You have the power, you have immense power to achieve anything that you want. Everything that you believe, you can make it into real. But you have to believe it first and take the steps. The second lesson that I want us to go deep into is, don't be afraid of making mistakes. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. How else are you going to learn if you're afraid of making mistakes? Because he says that we get punished for making mistakes. So because at school, at home, at an early age, we get punished for making mistakes, we don't want to make mistakes anymore. So we fail even to try. That's why when you have that goal, but you don't know how to get this finished product, because you don't know the steps, because you don't know the how, you know you're going to make mistakes, which is part of learning. So mistakes are just, it's just part of learning. We say it's mistakes, but it's not necessarily mistakes. It's part of learning. How else do you learn how to walk, how to talk, how to cook, even how to just take a bath as a child? You're going to mess up, but do you give up? So don't be afraid of making mistakes. It's just part of learning. It may take you a week, it may take you a month, it may take you more than that, but you are going to get it right if you don't give up and you follow the steps. But if you want to do it immediately, because most people share their successes, they share their wins, they share maybe the goals that they have achieved financially in their businesses, in their investments. And when they explain to us, we want to know we want to get it today. You're not going to get it today. You're not going to get it today, but you can start getting the basics. You have to start mastering the level that you are at. So can you see the importance? Don't be afraid of making mistakes. It's part of learning. Now, the third thing that I want us to, this is very important. You have to understand the difference between liabilities and assets. And don't use your emotions to justify things. You have to understand the facts and the calculations. So the difference between an asset and a liability, simple. It's very simple. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. Something that takes money out of your pocket is a liability. An asset is something that brings in money into your pocket. So it puts money into your pocket. That is an asset. So for example, something that maybe you thought is an asset, like if you are saving money, you might think that it's an asset because you can say, it is my money and I can use it any time I want. But the difference, it's an expense. And if you're keeping that money into a bank, you know that you can easily lose that money if that bank crashes. You can lose that money. You can research about it. So an asset has to bring in money on a daily, on a monthly, or on a weekly basis, yearly basis. It has to bring money into your pocket. For example, an asset it's like a rental house. If you have a house that you are renting out and people are paying your rent, that is an asset because it's bringing in money into your pocket. But if you have your own house that you are staying in, it's an expense. So it's a liability because you are paying money. So it's taking money out of your pocket. And you can say, you can use your emotions and say, but I can sell this house one day, but you'll always need a house to stay in. So can you see that the moment you start justifying with your emotions, then you are going to lose, because we have to look at the facts. We don't have to argue with the calculations. You don't argue with the calculations. It's a real fact. So you have to understand the difference. So can you see the importance of understanding the difference between a liability? If it's an expense and it's not bringing in money into your pocket, it's a liability. But if it is bringing in money, then it's an asset. And the last and the most important, and this is one of the best lessons that I can ever share with you. This is one of the best lessons that you can ever learn. He talks about, it's not how much you make, but how much you keep, and for how many generations you keep it. Now, I took it a step further. Maybe one day I'll also write my own book. I took it a step further and said, also take into consideration the growth that you can get. Because if you can get growth on what you keep, then you can win. Let's make example of this. If you are earning 10k, because remember, it's not how much you make. If you're earning 10k and someone else is earning 100k, but you keep 1k per month, not just keep it, but grow it, and someone else is earning 10 times your salary, but they are spending all their money and they are not keeping and growing, you can grow that money and get as much growth as you want from that money. So can you see that you can be in a far better position in 10 years time if you know how to get, say for example, you get 1,000% growth on that 1,000. In 10 years time, you will be far better than this person who is spending everything that they are getting. So can you see that it's not just keeping it, because there is inflation to take into consideration. But you know that 10k today and in 10 years, it won't be the same because of inflation. And that's why I say you have to get growth. The moment you start getting growth, then you will be in a far better position than someone who does not even know how to get growth. And you can get any growth that you want depending on your skill level. Remember, it's about your skills. It's not about information. It's not about magic. It's not about wanting to get things, wanting to get rich quickly. It's about following the steps, doing the right things in the right order so that you can achieve the goal. So I really hope that you found value to this, and I really hope that this is going to be helpful for you, because I really enjoy this. I really missed you. So how much do you have, and for how much can you grow that? Like it's not about how much you have, but how much you can keep and the growth that you can get. Even if it's just 100 rand, but if you know how to grow that 100 rand into 200, 300, 400, you'll be in a far better position by having and improving on your skills than someone who is waiting when they have 10k to start this thing that they want to start. Now remember that there is a saying that says tomorrow is the only day of the year that appeals to a lazy man. So if you're waiting for tomorrow, for next year, when you have the money, when you are in the right position, when you're not too tired to start on your journey, on your financial journey, because this is mostly what you are focusing on, then you are thinking in terms of the mindset of a lazy man. Even if it's just to write down to say that I have not given up on that goal. This is the dream, or this is the goal. And now I'm taking the first step. And the first step is just to write this goal so that it becomes clear into my mind. And the second step is to start researching or looking at people who have achieved this goal and how I can learn from them. Start reading books, start researching about this. Eventually you will find people. Right now you won't know about someone who can help you. But eventually, when you start the process, you're going to find out there are millions that can help you. So they can move you from 0 to step 3. And maybe if you want to get to step 100, you get other people who has better skills or better knowledge or better processes for you to follow. But at the moment, what's the easiest that you can follow? Because you are not going to wait for tomorrow. So I really hope that you found value into this. So please like, subscribe, and also share this channel so that we can grow and improve our conscious. And until we meet again, I really love you. Thank you. Bye-bye.